Now we are going to cover our new topic, which is Python functions and recursions. So let's understand one by one what are the topics included in it and how it works while we code in Python. So we have a teaching notes about the types of conversions and built-in functions in Python and definition, def functions and return, and then recursions and call stack functions. So the content of the first part is functions and types of convergence. So why convergence? We are covering the first part and types of convergence, definitions of functions and built-in math functions and utility functions. We will cover in part one. Then we will have a part two that will be definition functions and its parameters with arguments and default return. And then we have a return versus print statement. We use or we will print to print something. We have a return statement to print something, and we will understand what are the difference between them and how they are being used with different purposes. And then we will have a multiple parameters with keywords, arguments, and then keywords like that. We will understand it on upcoming times. So we will also have in part two that will be variable and scope. So local and global variables we have. And then we will understand deeply about recursions and the call stack. And we will understand what makes a function recursive. And then visualize the call stack. And we will work on some examples like factorial, Fibonacci series, then sum of list, countdown GCDs, and string reversal. Then we will understand recursive and iterations. What are the difference between those? And then part four, we will have some examples and recap about these topics what we had done in this video. Yes. And we will have some practice problems, and then we have one page revision sheets. So we have 13 pages. We have to cover them one by one. So let's understand what are functions and why functions we are choosing. So let's understand these things. Packaging code into reusable name blocks is called function. So this is like a block of code which is usable and give names to them. This is called function. A function is a name and usable block of code. You can call it anytime, and you can use it anytime when you require. There is a need to use that, we can use that block of code anytime. So here we have a print statement, type statement, then len are the all the functions you have already been calling. So functions avoid repeating the same code in multiple places. It's situated at a single place and can be called at any place at any time. So a function call runs the code inside it and it can return a result. So you don't need to print something. You don't have to get result and you don't have to calculate it. You have to give only inputs and then it will give the output according to your input. And the good functions do not do one clear job that have a name that says what the job is like. If you are creating a function, like if you are creating a function of calculator in which you have a multiplication, then you should name your function as multiplication. And if you are creating a function of calculating GCD, then you should name your function like GCD, that matching name, and that can be understandable by someone how you are writing and what is the function of your function, what is being used for. It should be understandable by just watching your name of your the function. So without a function, repeated code you have to write. Like if you want to say hello and welcome to the class to different students, then you have to write it one by one for everybody. But with function, you have to write it once and you can use it for every time. Like with function here, you can see we use the function to greet name, and then we will print uh, hello, then will print name, that will be user input, and then we will have a last ending statement that will be welcome to the class, and then we will name the student, and by that we can, by naming the student, we have to know name we have to give only the names of the student, and only one time we have to say hello and welcome to the class. So let's do it by our own, and let's see what happens. There is our compiler here. So first write without using functions. Then we will see after function using functions. So we have to write for hello, for hello in comma, then any name like class, then we will read him, welcome to class. Like that, we will write it for other students, like in then hello, then the name of the student, like here we are taking, and then we will greet a student, and then we will welcome into the class. Like that, will print use this for others as well, like print hello, then Rohan, Rohan, welcome to class. By this, we will run this code. We are printing for everyone one by one. This is like we are giving extra efforts, which is not required. It can be done by simple small block of code by using function. So by using function, we can sort our code, and we should be watching how it will happen. So by using function, we have to write this def function. Then the numbers is even. This is else. We have date name and the name, which will be this and Rohan, and then we will print these numbers. So let's do it by ourselves. So group name, then we will print using print, then hello, then some spaces, We will have name. Welcome to class. This is our function, and in the greeting card by name, it will be of name of student. Then grade row. You can see what we have printed using what we have written here is by using this we have printed this, and let's see what happen if we use their function. You can see we are getting the same output, but the code is being sorted in sort we have written, but the result is same for everybody. So this is the use of functions in Python. So if we take another example, which was a function with more logic inside it, it will be to print odd and even numbers. Let's see how it will work. So we will define our function def a even number. Then if the number percentile 2 will be 0, then it will return even. It will return even. If the number will be divided by 2 and giving remainder as 0, then it will be even, and else it will be odd as usual. It will return odd. So when we even 7, we are checking for 7, and then we will print for checking even for 10. So you can see the number 7 is here odd, then it has printed it for odd, and the number 10 is even, so it is printed for mm, even. If we take another example like this, and here like this, then the number is even. The first one is odd, then it printed odd, then and second one is even, it printed even number. Like this, we use return statement in our function. Every time we copy paste the code, that function is waiting to be written at point back at this line whenever a student repeats a block during a demo. I was teaching it in class, I have to say that. Let's see types of conversions and cohesion. So moving values between int, float, and string and boolean. This is what conversion. So integer is like 5, which is start from 1 to infinite and converts the text to the whole number, and string converts that number to text. So if the number is like 5, then it will print 5. If the number is 5.16, it will print number 5 only. It will not print 0.56. If we talk about string 5, that will convert the number into text. If the number is 5, then it will print instead of 5, it will print E. If the let's talk about float, which is like decimal values. If number we have 5, it will print 5.00. If the float value is 3.14, it will print for 3.414 is 3.14 only, and it will convert the text into decimal values. And we talk about bool, which is boolean of x that converts a value to true or false based on the truthness. Like if uh, 5 equal to 2 if we write, and if we want to check its boolean value 5 equal to 3, which is not, then it will print false. If we are writing like capital A equal to small a, if we want to know its boolean value, that also will be false, because in Python uh, a capital A and small a are two different things, and they are not identical in Python. And if we talk about Abhinav from small letters and Abhinav from capital letters like this is also not equal to this. These two things are not equal, but if we change it, that will be equal. This is what I want to say. So, Recursion is in Python automatically converts type in some operation. So we use quotients in Python to convert float value into integer value, integer into float, like this. If we have 5 and we don't know what type of number it is, we use coercion instead of its type of value. It will automatically find it, and it will place it like it is. So this done. So true behaves like I, and false behave like O. This is a this is like mm, 0 and 1. 0 means true, 0 means false, and 1 means true. If the given statement is true, it will print 1, and the given statement is false, it will print 0. This is 0, not O. We should take care about that. And input always returns a string and convert it before doing maths on it. So input value will return a string value before doing maths on it. So explicit conversion in a simple case, we have example about that. So let's do it on our compiler, not compiler, interpreter. First of all, we will find the type of number, then Boolean expressions. Let's do one by one. So we will take number text, num text that will be equal to 42, 43. Then we will take another num which will be integer type, then num, then text. Then we will print the number plus 7. We will print the number plus 7. We are just doing a simple mathematical expressions here, and we will get a quick output that is 44 should be plus like 7. Then we will get output as 50. And if we do like 57, then we will get 100 like this. Then we will check the price. Let's do another example. Number equal to is for comparing the values, not assigning the value. So we will always use single equal to for assigning the values to variable. Then price text equal to string str of price. Price then plus price of text. Then we will see the Boolean expressions, Boolean outputs of these values. So for that, let's write a Boolean expression for that. Ready equal to bool 1. If it be for true, then is empty equal to bool, that is Boolean. Like this is the right. Let's see what will be the output. Here you can see the price of these are being printed here. It is true, that's why it is printed here. If it was false, then it will not be printed. So let's move to the Korean in Python that covers automatically. Here we have total is equal to 3 plus 2. 2 adds like 1. You can see we have value of 2 is equal to 1 and value of false that it will be 4. And if we print total, that will be 3 plus 1 and that will be equal to 4. And here we in the second expression we have average that will be 9 by 2. If we will print 9 by 2 will be 4.5 as simple it is printed. There you can see here it is integer value, here 2 is also integer value, but the output is 4.5. This is why, because of covariance in Python, which is converting automatically data type into one to another according to the output without asking what type of output we needed. If we need output in integer value, then it will check and it will give output as 4 or 5. If we are not giving any kind of type of output value, this is because that's why it is printing 4.5, which is the actual answer. And here in the third is combine and then score plus str95. So must convert manually for plus, which will be 95. You can say it is adding to it. Adding to it means it is getting attached to score, which is as comment like extra things which is not included in code but it will be printed. This is because of that is and we are adding in combined. So string 95 is getting attached to it and the score is getting printed as 95. So let's do it one by one in our interpreter. Which first, first example was about total plus 3. Then we have 2 total plus 3. Total equal to 3 plus 2. Then we have a print statement here. Total. Let's see what we will get output. Here you can see 3 plus 2 is 4. 2 has value 1. Let's see what about false here. It be right false. False is not defined. False for false is not. You can see false is also defined. That was just a spelling mistake. It be right the correct spelling. 3 plus false. False have value 0 and 3 is 3. That's why 3 plus false is 0 and 3 plus true is 4. True. True. True have value 4 and false have value 3. And our second example was average calculator using coordinates in Python. So the example was like average, we are calculating average of 9 by 2, then printing average. Here you can see we are getting 4.5 as our output. It be right like this integer. Then you can see we are getting only integer values. It be right float. We are getting 4.5. If we write string value, let's see what happens if we write string. It is not an string, so there will be shown as error here. Yeah, the second example is also done. That is quite easy for everybody. Then we have to combine and score. Let's see how to do that. Just now we will see 4.5 we are getting. So combine equal to 4, then 4 plus string that is 95, 96, let's say, or 93, then we will print, if we print combine, then we will get our output as score 96. If we have 96 point this, then our output will be 96.98755. But will be instead of string, if we write integer int, there will be an error because the Python interpreter cannot compile from string to integer to string. It can be only done from string to integer. When we write float, then there will be also an error because this is too much. When we write only for two, then also it will be can only concatenate strings, not float to string. So that as an error, this could not be done. Now we have understand and we have done the combine, of course, and if we remove it, so we are, let's see what happens. We cannot remove it because we don't have it earlier. So if we don't have something, we can't remove it. So we can only add it, but we can do like multiplication. This is also incorrect. Can't be multiplied by a non-integer type. So we need only string values like this. We can get multiplication of 96 times. This happens. So comparison conversion between functions. The functions integer convert the text and float value to the whole number, and the float value to that converts text and integer into decimal number, include with decimals, three decimals, one decimal, it could be anything. And the string value that will convert the Boolean functions like true, false, cat 1, 0, and the numbers like any number to text format. Example like string 1.119.99 will be result as 19.99, and a float of 3.5 will be converted into 3.5 in decimal values, and if we talk about 42, then we'll convert it to 42 will be 42 in the integer form. And if we talk about Boolean functions, this is like any value that will be converted into true and false based on their truthness. Like Boolean of 0 will be false and Boolean of 1 will be true. So the common bugs here have most of the persons face is like a as input. We detect age and plus one that one step because you can't add a string and an integer. And to fix this age, we should take integer type input of age. Then we have to plus it, add it. So this is the common mistakes. Then the student. So here is a built-in maths and utility function. It's the abbreviated toolbox like abstract, a s, x, that removes the negative sign from the number, and then we have a round, which is round of the nearest whole number or a given decimal number. And then we have a maximum and minimum and power, sum and length. So we know maximum and minimum, but let's understand power and sum length. So power is like raise a number to the power of same as base and exponent. So if we have two numbers in bracket and the first one and the second one, The first one will be the number, and the second and the first number will be selected as a number, and the second number will be its power. Like here we have POW in bracket 2 comma 5, that will be treated as 2 to the power 5. It will be multiplication of 2 into 2 till 5 times. The result will be 32. Now if we talk about sum, I iterable, that will add up all the value in the list or tuples. Like if we have a list of numbers and numbers, an example we have sum of numbers like 1, 2, 3. It will add all the numbers and give a single output that is like 6. You have numbers like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and it will add to the 1, 4, that will be 5, then 6, 10, 11, then 8, and will be 17, then 10, 28 will be the output. So if we talk about len x, that will count the items in the string, list, or the collection. So if we talk about we have n number, we have n digits of string. So len will basically count the size of string, the letters and the numbers in that string, and the number of letters or the number will be the output. Like here we have hello, that has letter 5, Hello, hello. And if we talk about Abhinav, that has letter 7, that will be the result as 7. If we talk about maximum, max of something, that will find the largest value among the arguments. Like if we have a list and we want to find the maximum value in that, we only have to write max and then the string, then the list, and it will get 9 value. If we want to find minimum value, then we have find the smallest value among the arguments. Like here we have 492. In between them, the 2 is the smallest value. Because of that, it will calculate, it will give the result as 2. If we talk about ABS of x and round of x, the ABS of x remove the negative sign from the numbers. Like here in the example, we have -7, and if we use ABS of -7, it will remove the minus sign of 7, and it will give the output as a positive 7. If we talk about a round x, so the round x to the nearest whole number or a given value. Like here we have round off of 3.62. You can see here 3.62 is nearest to the 4. If we have an example like we have a round off of 3.12, that is the nearest to the 3, not 4. So 3 will be printed if we have example of 3.1 or something like that. If we have an example of 501, and if we want to calculate that is nearest to the 100 or 1000, that will be and 1000 will be printed. So here we have examples of above, which is solved here at the core problem. So let's we also do the same thing and let's see what happens in our code. Let's open our interpreter. So one by one, let's use first ABS of -2. Let's see what will be the output. As you can see here, the ABS has removed this negative sign. Let's see what happens if we don't have negative sign. You can see if you don't have negative sign in your number, then it will not care about numbers of positivity. It will only work when we have negative sign, and it will convert the negative sign into the positive sign. So this is done, and let's talk about round off number, print, then round of number like 4, 5.19898. Let's see what will be the output. You can see 45.98 is nearest to the 46, so that's why it is giving the output as 46. If we talk about 9997, 987.1, then it will give us an output of 987, which is the nearest to 987.1. If we talk about maximum value, so for that we have to first of all write a list of numbers. For that, let's take numbers like 6, then 12. From that, we will got the maximum value. We remove, then 6 is the maximum. That's because 6 is getting printed. So we talk about maximum minimum value now. Then if we write minimum, print minimum, then the list of number 989, then 99. The minimum value will be calculated as the minimum value in between those will be getting as output of 89 because 89 is the minimum value. So we remove 52 is the minimum. Our code is properly working. This is the sign of a good code. So we talk about power there too. Where is our power value? To get to do this, let's take example. Print for then number, then its power. If we calculate the power of this 87, it is 7, square of 87, that will be equal to 7569. That is the output of 57. For the surety, let's calculate it on our calculator. 57 into 27, that is equal to 7569, which is our result. So the last example was of sum of numbers in the list. Let's take our number as 99, then 76, then 34, and if we want to calculate 5.96 in the module, we have print sum. Here we have to make a list of the number for calculating number. For that, like this is the error. You can see 99 plus 76 plus 34 is 209, cos 76 plus 34 is 110, and 110 plus 99 is 209. So this is the example. So we also have some examples of rounding to the given number of decimal, like 5, which is approximately 3.14596. Let's see. Let's do this example. 5 approx equal to 3.1459. We will print it and then we will round it off to the pi of approx, then 2. We will check prox of 2, then print round of pi approx of 0. As you can see, it is printing approx value to the near second two decimal places, and here it is printing to zero decimal places. You can see at the output. Here we have creating your own function using def parameters and arguments and defaults and return functions. So let's understand the function, which is def starts a function definition followed by its name and bracket small bracket. And the name and push are parameters in the def functions and placeholder for incoming values. And of course, is like CSE, which is the default value if none is passed. And a return sends a value back to whatever the function was called and immediately exits the function. So if we talk about parameters is in between def function. If we are creating a def def function, definition function, then we have parameters like name, class, number, course, subject that are will be counted in parameters. And if we talk about arguments are like arguments are like values which will be given. Arguments will be like values which will be given by users. And if we talk about defaults, which will be default values of the parameters. Like for name, the default value will be ABC. If none of the arguments have been provided, the default will be for name will be used as ABC. And if we talk about course, the default course will be CSE if the none of the course been selected. And if we talk about return statement, it sends the value back to the function and it terminates the function immediately after it sending the value. So a function with default parameter. Here we can see function greet and then name and a course which is CSE. Here you can see here course is default has default value that is CSE. Then we have a message to be printed that hi, then name and welcome to the course. And name will be user input, but the course, if not selected, that will be CSE. If selected, that will be ECE. If this selected, then that code will be visible. So let's solve this example using def function. So we will start our def function, then we will greet, then we will write the name, then we will tell them their course, and our default course will be CSE, that is Computer Science and Engineering. Then we will pop up the message of a hi, then name, then we will welcome them to host Then we will return the message. We will return the message and we will then print till the input as greet of earlier. Then print, we will greet it for Yansu. And in the first case, we had not selected the code. And in the second one, we are going to select our course that will be like ECE. And if we run the code, let's see what happens. There is a mistake. We can see in the first case, let's see how to correct it. Correct it, and we will find out the reason of it being incorrect. Here we only have to put single bracket. Here instead of using two brackets, we have to use only single bracket. We can see now. We can see here the default course for array which is not assigned. The default course is now got assigned to him. And here in the second case for Priyanshu, the course he had pre-assigned for him, so he got his course, and the unassigned course has not been assigned to someone. So we have done it. And if we talk about parameters versus arguments, the terms like parameters, argument, and default value, we will understand by their meaning in examples. So the placeholders name written inside their function, like name in their function, greet name. So this and this. name and code is parameters, and the arguments will be about the actual value passed when the function is called. Like example in here it is given as above. In our example, the parameters are as Priyanshu and ECE. These are the parameters arguments. These are the arguments like Ajay, Priyanshu, ECE, and your default value. This is also an argument. Not no. This is not an argument. This is a default value. This is an argument. This is an argument. Ajay is an argument. But the course and the name is a parameter. Is a parameter. So call greet Ajay with only one argument and is run what course will run. So if we talk about return versus print statement, so a common mix-up for beginner is what is does so print and return. What does print does and what return does. So print is just display the text on the screen, but the return is send a value to the caller. So if we make the function and if we are calling the value, we use return statement. But if we are printing something by writing something, like we want to add something, we use print statement. But if we want to add something using def function, we use return. So can the caller reuse the value in print function? It is no. But in the return, they can store and reuse the value. Function still run after it, and the print statement, yes, it will run, and till the remaining lines still executed. But in return, if he got the result, the line will be immediately terminated. So the typical use of print is debugging and showing output to the user, but the return is used for passing a result to another calculation, and that calculator will calculate and then it will be printed. So we have a common mix-up of the examples using print and return. So let's do it. So let's do it on compiler, Python compiler. So let's write def add then print A and B. Then we will print that A in small letters and B. If we display it, we will not get any output because A and B are not defined till now. Def then add and return A and B. Then we will return the value of A plus B. Then result will be shown as add return 3, 4, and then we will print the result. We will print the result and multiplying it by 2. And if we write result 2 is equal to add and then print of 3, 4, and then if we print the result is like 2, and then we will multiply it by 2, and it will run the code. The first case will be printed, that is 7. 3 plus 4 into 2 will be 7. The result 1 will be printed, and the result 1, which will be 3 plus 4, will be here. It will be printed in the second case. But if in the third case, here, there will be an error shown. So run enter return side by side and option give back versus what voice one shows. So there will be an error if you are returning the result value true, which is none. So this is done. So we have more functions often, more examples of function with multiple parameters, keywords and arguments and args and keywords.